Naguib Sawiris, thank you so much for joining Al Arabiya.
Always a pleasure, Had.
I want to get a sense of where Naguib sees the world today.
I think the world is in a very dangerous mode because of the rise of new dictators in different jurisdictions who have consolidated power in one person. That includes the US, by the way, what's upcoming. And when there is a lack of accountability or a lack of, I don't know how the Senate and the Congress will deal in America with the new president.
Do you see him as a dictator, Donald Trump?
He's the democratic form of dictator. Yes, I see him as a dictator. I mean, this is what he would love to have. So now, if he has the Senate and the Congress, we're going to see, but the Chinese president is a dictator. The Indian prime minister is a dictator, in my opinion. There is lots of other dictators in our region. So the world is being trapped through these individuals now that are shaping world destiny. Putin is a dictator. So all these powerful dictators, because of their countries, can do something crazy or stupid, and we end up now Russia is sending ballistic rockets to Ukraine. So if we're going to escalate, I mean, it could end up very badly. You don't control these individuals. If they give an order, they live because they are dictators. So the people around them just do what they tell them.
Yeah. You're not risk averse when it comes to working in countries under essentially dictatorships. You've worked in North Korea, you've worked
No,
elsewhere, the opportunities.
no, I don't try to mix my political views with my business, But I have a passion to go places where I have a soft spot for, like I feel like I want to do something which will be remembered. I would go to a country that nobody wants to go because I want to build something that has never been built before. So when I'm not there after many years and I die, they say, well, there was this Egyptian investor, he came here, he promised he will do 1, 2, 3, and he did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and did something great. So I get well remembered. And
But you don't shy away.
No, I never shy away. You see, I fear nothing and nobody, and except God. So people think sometimes I'm crazy, and I try to explain to them it's not being brave. It's about my faith. I believe God is on my side, so nobody can stand in my way.
What do you think about the situation in the region today?
Also very bad, very sad everywhere. You see, we still have problems in Libya divided between two sections, and there's still some uncertainty. You have Syria with uncertainty, and 3, 4 other countries meddling in Syrian affairs. Look at Lebanon, what's happening now with the destruction of Lebanon, this beautiful country with beautiful people. They're paying a price for some military force that took over Lebanon by force and ignoring all the facts of Sudan, a disaster. The two fractions are having a war where they know no one will win. So they'll keep just breaking down, destroying, and who's paying the price? The civilian people who are now 18 million stranded. There's hunger threats, and one party is also very, how can I say, very stubborn.
You're invested in Sudan, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, you name it, wherever there are problems, you find me there.
There you are. There you are. Tell me this, when you take a step back and think about the media landscape, for example, Comcast has decided to offload CNBC, MSNBC, several of the brands that were under their umbrella. They've moved away from cable, in a sense. How do you see this all evolving?
You see, media is a very difficult business. Very difficult to make money in media. Usually, you guys, you take your salaries, you take your bonuses, we pay for cost and everything. When it comes to income, now what is the income? Advertising is coming totally down. Social media now is taking over. So, no income. For Comcast, the original idea was to buy content. So they thought this is content. Now they see that it has changed completely.
With Peacock, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I see,
It's difficult to stay ahead in
I
that
see
business.
the media will lose influence. Digital, social media will take over. So whoever didn't do the shift is going to suffer.
So in the interest in purchasing legacy assets like CNBC or MSNBC.
No, they're dying assets.
Yeah. And
Also because we started a platform here, a digital platform for the young people. The young millenniums, the people who want to understand how to become an entrepreneur, how to be able to get money if you're from venture capitalists, how to advance, what are the main exciting new areas in business. So all these other traditional stations, they're still with the stock exchange and the reviews of the companies and like that. They haven't
they're not
evolved.
interactive.
They haven't evolved.
Walk me through this one. When you see tweets from Elon Musk, perhaps jokingly suggesting he might purchase MSNBC, do you see that happening?
I don't know, but he's not been known. I mean, I thought when he bought Twitter that this was a very bad investment. And look what he's done. So you never know. I mean, look, the guy is a genius. And if you don't like him, then there's something wrong about you, not about him.
Do you think it's worrying, the relationship he has, the bromance he has with Donald Trump? Or was it inevitable?
No, it's actually interesting to show you how we can turn tables. You see, we capitalists or entrepreneurs, we also like people to understand our value. So when you go against us, okay, you have to be prepared for a fight. See, because we are more imaginative. What's an entrepreneur? He has an imagination, he has fantasy, but he has also the might of persistence. So you want to go to war against someone like us? Be my guest. Him or me or anyone else.
You're based at least part of the time here in Dubai. You've grown your business here. Where are the opportunities that you see?
Dubai and Abu Dhabi and the Emirates, you smell the money in the air. You see, I mean, opportunities are immense here. And tell me why. Because there is no interference. If you're an honest businessman and you have a good idea and you have a plan and you'll obey by the rules, you're so welcomed here. The ease of doing business, the ease of traveling in and out, the ease of administrative issues. There's no place in the world like here. And I believe Saudi Arabia is going in the right way, and they will achieve what these people are here, but they need to be faster because people here will not stop advancing. The rulers here, they wake up in the morning with one thought only: what can we do better for our people and for our guests or for our, you see? So, and they sit and they come up with a new idea, with a new action, and then they execute. Where else? Most other countries, people are entangled in their routine meetings with some ambassador or some visitors or some crisis in the region or this and that. Here, nothing is stopping the progress.
Where else would you invest? Because you're always looking for new opportunities. What's interesting to you? Would you put money in a place, for example, like Russia?
No, no, no. I will not put money in Russia because I'm standing with Ukraine, clearly. You see, I think what Putin should have done is he should have told them, look, guys, don't go into NATO because we believe this is a security threat to ourselves. And if you go, I will come in. I will march in, and it will be war. I think the Ukrainians would have taken his words seriously, and they would have delayed this issue with the NATO, and we would have prevented the war. But he didn't do that. He just woke up one day and decided, now I'm marching in.
Yeah.
He says, well, we tried, and this. No, he didn't put it in a clarity like that. It's like, okay, because he has to acknowledge the fact that it's Ukraine's right to decide who they want to join and what they want to do. So he had to put a very serious message first. What was he worried about? That they will make defenses and prepare? And like you see, he tried to invade Kiev in the first weeks of the and before the whole world helped Ukraine, and they stood strong because it was their national honor. So I would not do that. I would never.
Money done in Ukraine.
Yes, of course.
What looks interesting to you there? Because they need investment in
Post-war,
every
everything,
sector. Yeah.
everything.
Energy, infrastructure.
Everything, there's everything there. Hospitality, hotels, there's a lot of mining, still many mining opportunities now, and with all this.
So is it more interesting to look at a place like Ukraine than Western Europe?
No, there's just more money to be made. In Western Europe, the competition is higher. Everything is already too regulated. Everything is done. There is a big giant companies that will compete against you. I mean, you have to go where you, as a businessman coming from Egypt with limited resources, can do something and not have too much competition.
Do you worry about the future of Europe?
Yes, I worry. I criticize this Brexit departure of the UK. I mean, what's one of the most stupidest decisions in the history of mankind? They were part of Europe. They're a necessary part of Europe because also Europe has the same enemies, has the same challenges. What the hell did they go out like that? They lost all the investors from other countries. They lost their manpower. Now when you go in restaurants or they tell you, sorry, we have to work only a few days because we can't find the manpower. Now you have to get a visa at the airport to export goods. I mean, it is the most, and a decision like that should have been obtained by absolute majority, which means above 70% or above, not by 51%, which means it was the most ridiculous decision ever.
Would you invest under a Labour government
No.
or Keir Starmer's government? Why?
Because they started on the wrong, they started with taxes and taxation and expelling the foreigners by canceling
Putting
the
business out of
residency.
business.
Yeah, no.
Not a thing.
No.
And in Europe more generally?
I like Greece. I like Greece because it's in Europe, but it has some resemblance to our world, and the people are very nice. And I like Italy. I invested in Italy. My biggest investment in my whole career was in Italy, I bought wind for 15 billion euros, I mean, no, in the history of LBOs or investments, it's the highest from one individual,
Yeah. Tell me this. When you look at what's happening in the market today, you're a huge proponent of gold. Where do you see that headed?
You see, we had this question 4 years when you had
We did
our
indeed.
interview.
And everybody thought you were crazy.
And where did it go now? It's at 2,700, I mean, I was right because it's based on my experience in the mining industry. New gold mines take 6-7 years to start producing from the day you start exploration, which means that the velocity of new mines coming into production is much slower than the consumption. Coupled with the tensions in the world now, and so the Russians and the Chinese are massing up their gold reserves. Why? Because it's a universe currency. They don't want to be hostage to the dollar. Okay? So under this demand is here, it's going very fast, and the offering is very slow. And gold is gold.
Yeah. You mentioned hostage to the dollar. How worrying is a Trump administration in your mind, whether it be with regards to the Fed or the Trump tariffs?
I think we are going to be entertained in the next 4 years massively because you will have a disruptor, which is Donald Trump. And if he disrupts in the right areas, like I like his disruption for the administration. Because in America, the bureaucracy and the administration, and mostly fueled by the Democrats.
You're not surprised they lost?
No, I was not surprised they lost because look at it, very, very simple. Biden should have left 6 months or a year earlier. She was not the most perfect candidate to be chosen. She was chosen in a hasty manner. She didn't present her case very well at all, in my personal opinion. So they were going to lose anyhow. If they would have put someone like Bill Clinton or that caliber or George Bush the father, they would have won if they would characters like that, But they came up with a very bad candidate in the last minute.
Yes.
Of course they lose.
Do you think it was the woke?
Because Donald Trump would have had a lot of people who don't like him. So this would have worked for them, you know.
The woke narrative that we have to be politically correct. Do you think that that is over?
She should have woke up, you know, not she was in another planet. I mean, I was looking at her and thinking, oh my God, that's imagine imagine this. She would be a president of the United States of America. I mean, America always surprises me with their last candidates. Always, they
Yes.
don't manage to get really the very bad choices at the end. But no, I think you can say things. She had something also working against her. She was there for 4 years. What can she show for? Zero.
Yeah. Tell me this. When you think about business and politics, it was once explained to me by a friend of ours, if you have the money, you want the power, and if you have the power, you want the money. Businessmen going into politics, does that work?
Very bad idea. You know, I used to admire and love the late Prime Minister of Lebanon, Rafiq Hariri. And I was in a conference here in Dubai where he attended with Sheikh Mohammed and the others in front, and it was about was a financial conference or mixed, you know. So I made a statement, said, why don't you leave the Palestinian problem to the businessmen? We can solve it, you know, instead of the politicians who failed over these years to provide peace. And after I finished, he called me and told me, Naguib, don't do my mistake. Don't go into politics if you're because you're a successful businessman. Don't go into politics. 1 week before he was assassinated.
Really?
So I took the advice very seriously. I make my opinions. I'm opinionated, you know. I can't sit tight and not say when I see something wrong, especially when it concerns my country, okay? Or when it concerns a country I love, like Lebanon or any other place, you know. But it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Speaking of Lebanon, how do you see this playing out for the Lebanese? Because the United States has essentially greenlit everything that Israel's done.
I think Israel has done a big mistake in the way they handled this crisis of the terror attack of October 7, you know, because I think when they will sit back and sit, they see they've alienated a lot of the people in the world who have a conscience. You can't kill 42,000 people and feel that we will not sympathize with the Palestinian people, you know, like we sympathize with the victims of October 7. You know, this was a dreadful. But if you don't want me to deny the Holocaust, I cannot deny also, and I hate people who deny the Holocaust. You don't deny that there are 42,000 innocent people died. You didn't get the bad guys. The bad guys, how many of these 42,000 people were Hamas? 14,000 children were in Hamas, so they were not. So you can't prevent the world of feeling sorry for this immense victim, even if you are friendly to Israel, you know. So I believe the American administration has not tried to put some sanity into the situation. Look at now, the hostages are not back. Gaza is totally ruined. 40,000 people died. Now they're destroying in Lebanon, you know. And now they will stop before Hezbollah is finished. So they will stop and leave Hezbollah still there. So
Which was supposedly the point.
yeah, so I don't know.
For Lebanon,
But Netanyahu also.
do you think that that was a correct ruling by the International Criminal Court?
It stands for the 42,000 innocent souls that died. The question is, you want to get the bad guys? Get the bad guys. You are intelligent, you have technology, you showed that your technology in Lebanon, you know. So why do you make what we call a general punishment? You know? The people of Gaza were occupied by Hamas. The simple people not all the people in Gaza wanted Hamas or accepted Hamas. Because Hamas was a dictatorial power on the people there. They didn't allow them to voice any other opinion. If you were not with them, they would take you and drag you and jail you with no. So the people were also oppressed. So you killed the oppressed people.
What happens next in your mind? Does Trump come into office and put an end to wars? Or is the Middle East beyond his abilities?
it's not beyond, because he will have a lot of influence on the Arab countries. But he has a tendency to think that everything will be solved through money and business, which is not right, because he forgets that people have now hate inside them. People have nationalistic feelings about their land. You can't offer me money and you will take my home. So I think he's made a statement which is, in my personal opinion, ridiculous, saying Israel should be bigger. On whose account? On our account. Let them come and take 1 centimeter from Egypt. We will go to war. Nobody, doesn't understand the sovereign right of your land. So you want to be bigger in where? You go to the sea, then maybe they can put some more land in the sea.
Dredging. What about Egypt today?
Egypt is not to what I would like it to be. It's not to what I would like it to be.
What needs to change?
I mean, this is a bit of that's where I get into trouble, with questions like that. So I don't want to say, but I say we need more freedom. We need to support the private sector and open the doors completely. We need to eliminate the competition of the public sector and the army and the business. We need to restore the political life by allowing real elections and
Real debate, real conversation.
We need a parliament that is not based on interest groups or people who paid money to become an MP. It's a lot of changes are needed.
Do you imagine we'd be talking about these things 10 years ago in terms of the future of Egypt?
Well, to be honest, nobody expected when we got the Muslim Brotherhood out of Egypt and we welcomed President Sisi that this is going to be the way forward that has happened.
Yeah. And it's disappointing.
You said it. You said it.
Walk me through Monify. Tell me what this platform's all about. What led you to this? I know originally you were thinking.
So Monify is I always wanted to have a financial station or a platform, but that is unique. That is not going against CNBC or Bloomberg because we don't have the budget anyhow. But that we.
And linear may be over.
Sorry, of course, yeah. And that's why you had to go and cater for the young generation, the millennials, and see what they like, what are they interested in, and most of them, they would like to be an entrepreneur. They would like to start their own business. So what this station is going to do is going to tell them, where are the future investment opportunities? Is it in space? Is it in digital or Bitcoin or where? And how to start their businesses, how to approach venture capital companies, and
it also gives you a leg up yourself because you're seeing these companies at the most nascent.
Yes, and also me, I'm very interested into promoting the youth. I never refuse an opportunity to speak to the young people, to explain to them, take their questions and give them advice. So now I will have a platform that will do exactly that. It's just in the beginning now. We're going to add on it. We have to introduce artificial intelligence into it to reduce our cost. We have to do a newsroom, that is different. We have to see also how we will get some income, because now the advertising income is not really a main source now. So we have to be very innovative how we can do an interaction with our viewers and get some money out of that relation. Yes, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me this.
It's difficult.
No doubt. Tell me this, though. What inspired you to do this?
As I told you, I'm in times of my life now where I want to give back to society. So my family, we have a very big social organization called the Sawiris Foundation. It spends, I think, 1 to 2 billion pounds a year into Egypt, trying to create jobs, help all the NGOs that are providing jobs or training or medical or education. So this is good, and it's an institution, okay? But because I am egocentric a bit, so I want to do something that would be named after me, like a great good deed. So I consider that one of them. In the same thing, I think that the Emirates here, they need a new financial station, because the stock markets here are now booming, especially in Abu Dhabi now with all the restructuring that has, the brilliant restructuring that has happened, So I believe we are in the right spot, and then we're in a place here where ease of doing business is clear. everything is very easy here. You know, we got our license like that, everything.
Yeah. You mentioned AI. When you look at technology today, and of course it's developing rapidly, what in your mind is going to be the challenge there? Because I do so often stories about
Everybody,
energy
the people are,
using AI.
yeah, people have talked a lot about that. The challenges are clear. You're going to not need half of your manpower. People will be lose their jobs. So what's the plan for these people? Okay. The other problem is the misuse. You will have more of now fake news through AI. You will be able to imitate the voice, the look. So whom will we believe when we see now a video in 5 years? Is it true? It's not true. How about criminality? I mean, I go ChatGPT. How can I rob a bank? Or you know, how can I open a safe model so and so and so? Imagine if it gives you the answer. Yeah. So easy. Everything is going to be easy. Even fraud, corruption, criminality, everything. So it's a very dangerous era we're going to go in. You know. So unless there will be it will be regulated, and there will going to be laws that tell you what you can do and what you cannot do.
Is that going to require some kind of global
will-
understanding,
it
like we
will-
had in the internet
Yes, exactly.
early days,
Exactly.
Bill Clinton?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me this. Okay. So beyond AI, beyond the technology of everything, what's exciting to you? Is it the fact that you're actually a DJ?
Yeah, you will laugh, but when I DJ, I love music. So it's
I've seen you dance. Yes.
moments of my happiness. I love music. And when I DJ, I know I have a good taste in the choice of the music I choose.
Yes.
And I see the response of people. It just puts me alive. It makes me feel alive, you know. And maybe you don't know, but I never grew over 30 years. I never
So is that your advice? Don't grow up.
don't grow up because it's stupid to grow up.
Yeah.
You know, if you keep a young spirit like I think I have, I never grow up, and I don't want to grow up. I prefer to go out with the age group where I stopped growing up, 30s. That's my favorite age group.
Love it. Cheers to that.
Thank you.
Naguib Sawiris, thank you so much
You're
for joining
welcome.
Al Arabiya.
Thank you, Adley.